Welcome to The Peak, where becoming your best self is our goal. I'm Mike Mittman. On this week's episode, how community schools serve as a hub for parents and students. And this health network is providing tools to return to work safely. And what the team has been up to this summer. All that and more coming up on The Peak. While a lot of activities were halted during the COVID-19 crisis, our community never stopped giving back.
There are so many worthy organizations you can donate to, volunteer with, and support. Check out some ways our community is giving back. In 1976, a small group came together to create an organization that answered hotline calls from women who were victims of domestic violence in the area. 2 years later, the group was granted nonprofit status and evolved into Turning Point of Lehigh Valley. Since its incorporation, Turning Point of Lehigh Valley has helped more than 85,000 victims of domestic abuse, and thanks to our community's donations, Turning Point is able to provide life-changing and sometimes life-saving services to people escaping intimate partner and domestic violence situations. A donation to Turning Point can give so much more than what money can buy. The Kids Peace residents at the Community Living Department have been working together through their curriculum and received a request to make cards for local nursing homes. This opportunity brought up the conversation of discussing the significance of bolstering relationships with individuals in our community. These handmade cards were inspirational, positive, and some even had jokes. 80 cards were sent to nursing homes in hopes that when they're read, people feel a little less lonely and a lot more special. Because of COVID-19, Catholic Charities was not able to serve regular lunch meals at their soup kitchen in Allentown. Before the pandemic, and for more than 30 years, Catholic Charities has been serving lunch every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. With a strong connection to the community, the team at Catholic Charities quickly pivoted to a weekly, socially distanced grocery box distribution to families in and around the soup kitchen neighborhood. These weekly distributions have been the lifeline for many families who may not be able to afford groceries. Sam Adams Pennsylvania Brewery paid a big tribute to the healthcare heroes at St. Luke's University Health Network. Located in Briningsville, PA, the brewery created a special edition of their Boston Lager, and they donated it to St. Luke's employees. These bottles pay tribute to frontline healthcare workers by featuring pictures of employees right on the bottle. Cheers to Sam Adams and the frontline workers at St. Luke's University Health Network. We're so lucky to have a dedicated and hardworking team of healthcare professionals. I'm Katie, and that was A Peek at the Valley.
Volunteering is a great way to give back, and it makes you feel good. Coming up next, how community schools provide the tools for families to succeed.
A community school is basically the center of the community. We want to work with the families to know what they need and then be there for them.
Being that hub that they can go to, it really makes them comfortable. And that's important because when they do need help, they come to us, we can help them. In turn, that helps their family out, and then they're going to be more successful in school.
We want to make sure that the kids have everything they need to learn.
I love my community school. My son's name is Jarius, he's 8. And I just know that people care about him. If he needs something, they're teaching him to always ask. They come together, kind of like they would in the community.
When they walk in that door, they know they're going to be greeted with smiling faces. They know they're getting high fives or hugs. They know that this is going to be that constant. No matter what happens, they're going to come here, they're going to be loved. We're going to help them as much as we can. There's people here that they can talk to, and those relationships go such a long way. When you really look at all the things that community schools are doing, that's the reason that you support it right there.
We can expect the kids to learn how to read if they're hungry. We create our food pantry, so now we're able to give food almost every single day to our families.
Every morning they bag that food, 6 a.m. They have to make sure it's fresh, and the kids love to come get it.
We've been giving out over 200 lunches a day, and then we continue to give out the food bags.
So those are the things that at the end of the day you say wow, we did it.
When we became a community school, this all started with United Way, and United Way has supported us along the way, and they'll do anything that they can to help us succeed. If it wasn't for the partners that we have in our community, we wouldn't even be near where we are.
This program is helpful in so many ways. Coming up next, how St. Luke's is helping businesses return to work. Stay tuned. This is The Peak. The St. Luke's Return to Work program offers businesses resources as they prepare to return to the office.
Via Lehigh Valley is a nonprofit organization, and we provide support services to individuals with disability. So when businesses were shutting down across Pennsylvania, VIA remained open. VIA thought it was important to utilize St. Luke's services to help develop our COVID-19 pandemic plan. VIA and St. Luke's have a wonderful relationship. We have partnered with St. Luke's on so many different community initiatives, and so it was just natural to continue with the Return to Work program.
St. Luke's Occupational Medicine, in collaboration with St. Luke's Fitness Centers and Behavioral Health, are launching this program to assist employers in many different fashions. This can be customized to fit their business needs.
When we understand what their goals are, we can then put into place certain tactics and certain coping mechanisms and education that really align to those corporate goals.
The Return to Work program includes medical policy consultation to help employers develop medical policy and guidance based on the company's policy needs.
It is really important for our employees and participants to feel safe and be safe. So we have implemented certain measures to ensure their health and safety. We have directional signage all around the building, and we also have hand washing reminders all around the building.
Another resource we're offering is on-site temperature monitoring to help prevent somebody who could be infected enter the facility. We can provide PCR, nasal swab, COVID testing, in addition to antibody testing at our Care Now sites. If we can help prevent one asymptomatic or symptomatic patient from entering into your facility, that can help prevent the spread now and in the future. St. Luke's Executive Health is supporting those executives during this time that had a lot of stressors going on. And St. Luke's exercise physiologists, dietitians, and athletic trainers can provide guided recommendations for getting back on track over this time off.
We're not meant as human beings to live at such a high anxiety level for such a long period of time. It's really impacting us very negatively. We've learned, though, that there are things that you can do and ways that we can help people navigate that.
As part of our mental health support, we are able to offer virtual health sessions with our specialists.
We try and take the approach where communication, conversation, and openness really is going to help you gain an advantage in the workplace. Mental health really lends itself to a more productive and happier employee.
I would recommend the St. Luke's Return to Work program because the guidance that I received was super quick and the information was very thorough.
It's based on quality. Getting your employees back to work is essential.
All of these pieces that we didn't have to pay attention to before as employers. Now we have to pay attention to that. How your employees are feeling and what they're experiencing is just as important as to whether or not they have a broken finger or they've pulled their back.
St. Luke's Return to Work program is built to help you get your employees back to what they enjoy doing.
Joining me is Dr. Ken Burtka. He's a family physician and vice president of clinical integration at St. Luke's Care Network. Dr. Burtka, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Tell us a little bit more about this Return to Work program. What is it and who does it help?
So the Return to Work program that St. Luke's is doing, obviously really important right now during the COVID crisis. So business leaders, business owners, just like everybody else, have all sorts of questions about COVID. But they have the kind of the double burden of not just, wanting to know more about COVID, but how does it apply to my business? How do I keep my business going? How do I protect my most important asset, my people, my employees? So that's why it's so important. It's taking everything that you have questions about with COVID, and now applying it to how do I make my business successful in this sort of environment.
Hey, really, it has been such a confusing time for businesses and so much to process and so much to think about. And people are your most valuable asset. So why is it important for businesses to have a plan when they return to work?
Well, without a plan, it just becomes haphazard. And just like anything else, you need to have some standardization. So you want to plan ahead. So for example, there's a lot of work that needs to be done with what I'll call mitigation of COVID. So that would be things like the social distancing, remote working, masking. What are you going to do when someone hits your business that is positive for COVID? It will happen. So as I've been talking to businesses, I've been saying you're COVID free only until you're not. And almost guaranteed at some point you will have someone in your business, either an employee or guest or visitor or client or customer, that's positive. So that's not the time to try to figure out, okay, what am I going to do? The time to figure that out is in advance. So you really need that plan to say, okay, how am I going to protect my employees? How are we going to keep the business running? How are we going to protect our clients and customers if you're a business that requires, people to come on site? And then when it does happen, so now let's say I have an employee who is positive, what's my response to that? And so when that happens, and likely it will, what's going to be my response? So the employer needs to figure out how they will handle that sort of situation.
So it's really getting ahead of things, being proactive in your approach as a business owner, as an employer, to keep your employees and really our whole community safe. If someone has been confirmed with COVID and they've been quarantined at home and they want to return to work, how does that work and what are the policies around that? What should business owners know?
So we get a lot of questions from businesses about this because the CDC has really set up two sets of recommendations. So first, for people who are infected, who are symptomatic, there's two kind of protocols you can follow to bring that person back to work. One is based on symptoms. So depending upon how they're doing and how long they've had symptoms and when their symptoms went away. The other is based on testing. And that one, oftentimes businesses jump right on that because it seems like it would be black and white. They either test positive or test negative. But unfortunately, the protocol involves doing two tests and having two tests negative at least 24 hours apart. And sometimes we're seeing that people are remaining positive on the test well past when they've recovered from the infection. So it's definitely an area where businesses need to look at, what is going to work best for them. And there are some options to develop a good return to work policy for someone who's been infected.
Well, it's really incredible the work that you and the team at St. Luke's are doing to keep our community safe, not just on the front lines in the hospitals, but also as part of this program to keep businesses and employees and families safe too. So thank you so much for all that you're doing, Dr. Burke. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care. Stay safe.
Thank you. You too. Stay tuned. This is The Peak.
Our community is full of artists, entrepreneurs, and business leaders. Let's hear from one of our own on why the Lehigh Valley is such a special place to live.
Hey everybody, welcome to Unscripted with Russo. I am here with Richard Thompson, the managing partner at Factory LLC, which is where we're actually broadcasting from today. Richard, thanks for having us.
No worries. It's always good to use a podcast studio here at Factory.
We are excited to be here, and it's been cool to watch the growth of this place. I want to talk a little bit about your life. You got your start way before this. You've done a lot of amazing things in your life. We'd need about a 3-hour podcast to talk about that.
Yeah, maybe 3 days.
Maybe 3 days. That's true. Tell me a little bit just about the basics of where'd you grow up? What were you interested in? What were you like as a kid?
Well, I grew up in Coldwater, Kansas, a town of about 1,200 out in southwestern Kansas, out by Dodge City, where Wyatt Earp, and I think related to all those kinds of characters out there. But yeah, Kansas farm boy.
Tell me
a little bit about what it is you love in the Lehigh Valley. I was lucky enough to meet you and your wonderful wife, Amy, early on, and I remember this being sort of just your getaway place. It was not a place you planned to live, and it was kind of fun to watch you guys fall in love with the Lehigh Valley. Why? Why do you love the Lehigh Valley?
Well, again, leaving New York City and coming to some place like this where you have the outdoor, the freedom. I mean, you know, I do ski in Colorado all the time. I grew up there, and I ski at Vail and Steamboat Springs. But to be able to run over to Blue Mountain, to be able to go hunting or shooting, or to be able to go fishing, or to be able to go play golf, or any of the other activities that you want, is just really nice and really relaxing to be able to do those things.
All right in our backyard. It's
right in
pretty
our
amazing,
backyard.
yeah.
You don't have the pollution, you don't have the traffic, you don't have all the pressure and stress that goes on in like New York City or maybe even Philadelphia.
Well, Rich, we are so glad that you are here and that you are doing this here and committing to this area. It's really been tremendous for the area, and we're just so honored to be a part of it. So thanks for having us here today. Thank you for joining us on Unscripted. And if you haven't checked out Factory, check it out because it is a place to watch. All right, Rich, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
For the full interview, visit youtube.com/thepeaktv. And don't forget to subscribe to Unscripted with Russo on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
The ASR team had a great summer. Let's check out some of the adventures they went on.
Things have definitely been different this summer, but the ASR media team has found some ways to get outside and enjoy the sunshine.
I love getting to hang out with some friends, and I actually got to spend a lot of time at the Jersey Shore this summer. Some of my favorite things to do were to swim in the ocean and just hang out on the beach with my friends. What about you, Steph?
I was able to go upstate New York with my family to our lake house. When we're here, we love to boat, play with our dogs, and just enjoy the outdoors. Let's see what Steve's up to.
I love to get outside as much as possible. I love going out with my friends and playing some golf. Let's see what Abby's up to in South Carolina.
When it's nice outside, I like to pack up and head to the beach. KP, what are you up to?
I love going out on my sailboat with my family and friends. I've been doing it for my whole life, so I love to be able to get out there and just go for a nice, peaceful sail. To me, that's a perfect day. What about you, Krista?
When it's a nice and sunny day, I love going to the local wineries with my friends. My favorite wine is Pinot Grigio, but I like trying everything they have to offer. I think Dylan is up to something cool. Let's see.
I've been at Carolina Beach for the past week. I got a little bit of sunburn, not too bad. And although there was a little bit of a hurricane at the beginning of it, the weather besides that was really nice, and it was super relaxing to just lay on the beach all day for a full week. Katie?
I spent some time on the beach too. Every summer I come down to Cape May, New Jersey, and just spend some time with family relaxing on the beach, cooking some good food, and enjoying time together. So I hope you really enjoyed seeing how ASR spends their time outdoors this summer. Cheers!
While this summer was a little different than most, we were still able to enjoy it. To learn more about anything on today's show, just go to our website, thepeaktv.com. Thanks for watching, and remember, every day is an opportunity to be your best self. This is The Peak. Oh, okay. Check one, test check, check one, and stay there. I don't want to tell you again.
No, not that noise.
We're not able to enjoy it.
We're not doing that.
While a lot of activities were canceled, the ASR team had a great summer. Let's check some. Yeah.
The Peak TV is a production of ASR Media.
Hey, it's Dakota. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos.
To see more of The Peak TV, check out our website, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and catch us on WFMZ Channel 69.